Oh, hi there. I'm Danny Butler, and you've caught me indulging myself in my weekly read. That's right, I can read, because it's the end of an era. The Trials and Motocross News has published its last publishment. And honestly, for a lot of riders here in the UK, getting your name in the TMX was an honour and a privilege. And we'd like to say thank you to all the team up there that have been putting this out for almost 45 years. It's a shame and a loss. And we just wanted to say thank you. And this is TrialTube. This week on TrialTube, we have got a secret project. That's right, we've been working on something in the background that, well, we haven't told you we've been working on it. It was sort of like a bit of a find, and then it turned into a bit of a thing, and now it's going to be a bit of a something on the episode. So it's also a bit of an ode, as I feel nostalgic this week because of the demise of the Trials and Motocross News. Again, if you don't know what that is, do some reading up, because it is really all about reading. So, on with the fun. Now this week, we're going to be talking about a two-stroke icon, the TY. Now the TY probably was one of the most successful bikes in existence. From schoolboy to clubman to British Championship to World Championship results to the Scottish 6 Day, the TY series of bikes were epic. Now, I'm not going to be talking about this TY, although yes, it is a two-stroke icon. I'm talking about this one. The last version, the Pinky TY, the ultimate version of the TY that basically was more TY than any other TY, until it was superseded by another TY, Z. But that bike there is unstoppable. Now this bike, what can I say? It had a reign, and I'm going to say a reign because it was genuinely a national and clubman championship winning bike for a lot of people. More people rolled out in the results with the words TY 250 at the end of their name and score than I think people did on beaters for the last 11 years. Basically, this bike from around 1985 to 1992, some of the last Pinkies came out just before being superseded by the TYZ. At that point, even when the new bike came along, some people just didn't want to change bikes because it was that good. Also, I remember seeing Tony Scarlett at Bilstein absolutely own everybody on something that was new on this bike. Now this bike has been a little bit of a secret project for us at TrialTube. Basically, my old man went and bought a Pinky and I didn't even know he bought it. And then a week had turned round, and with the help of the guys at Cambridge Trials Centre, a huge TY enthusiast and just a great shop in general, Paul and the team and my old man were able to turn this bike around to definitely celebrate its former glory with specialist parts, which I'm going to go into because it's had a bit of a, shall we say, bit of a modern day tinge with a bit of a classic feel, with a bit of a pink, and well, Bit of pink for dads.
No.
So kids, let's get down to it. Upgrades that this bike has had. When we actually got the bike, it was pretty original, and it even had all the original plastics on, which, as you can imagine, over time started to look a little bit tired. We did keep the original plastics, but we have used a Cambridge Trial Centre rear mudguard. We've got the Yam Sport exhaust on there as well. We've also got a tank cover, which looks just like the original tank, but definitely tidies the job up quite a bit. You can't really even tell that it's on there as well. We were able to get our hands on a decal kit, which was perfect. We had the forks completely rebuilt and reconditioned. Obviously the brakes needed bleeding. We had the wheels rebuilt. The frame was powder coated, and we also moved the pegs. That's right, that's the thing. People move the pegs on the older bikes to lower them and bring them further back, just so the bikes have a more modern feel. Obviously we put some new rental bars on there, which were old stock because you can't really find them in blue that easily anymore. And a lot of the top bikes, when people were riding the Yamaha monos, for some reason people ran blue bars. Weird. We've got a new back rim in there, an SM Pro. When I say new, I mean new old stock. The sump guard actually is in really good condition, considering those old sump guards were like a bit of a wraparound job and sort of give this bike the name of being a bit of a dinosaur. We split the exhaust and repacked it, and also rehoused the baffle. We've got a custom boards Pinky front number board on there, which they did come with a headlight. We have got it in a bag, but I'm going to steal it for another project. So tough. We've also installed a smaller gear lever, which obviously allows you to actually reach it, because moving the pegs back means that the gear lever was miles away. Even for a trials bike, it was far away.
Little girl, don't touch that squirrel's nuts.
Added extras include, but are not limited to, aluminium axles, which have again been provided to us from the guys at Cambridge Trial Centre. We also have the case saver just in front of the front sprocket there, again, Cambridge Trial Centre, as well as the gear lever, Cambridge Trial Centre. There's a bit of a theme going on here, isn't there? Some people just spent way too much time in the Pinky world, and honestly, I thank them for it, because this bike is awesome. And apart from all of that glitz and glamour, we've also got a CNC top yoke that gives the bars that more forward feeling of riding a modern bike. Genuinely, I have rode this bike round for a few seconds and it feels awesome. Oh yeah! I actually know why people didn't want to come off this bike. Well, there's all the bling. Oh, one more bit. Last and by no means least, as you can see, we may have cheated a little bit and put a modern day Öhlins rear shock up it, which, believe it or not, is actually sort of a retrofitted gas one, which these are purchasable from known sources, which I'm not sure he does or does not want to have his name mentioned, so we're going to call him known sources, and that's what we're going with.
No.
But having this rear shock on there transforms the bike, although the original Yamaha suspension is, what can I say, it's like riding a caterpillar. It just goes over everything and you feel nothing. But obviously, to make the bike ride a little more modern and unweight it, because she's heavy, it does help to have better suspension. If you're not looking into your suspension for your weight and size and height, then do it. Don't be an idiot. There we are. I've been told that this just slides in and these just pop in, and that, ladies and gentlemen, is Japanese. Right.
Okay. Let's party.
God, look at the size of the kickstart. Oh! Now, before we test this bike, a quick word from Danny with this week's advertiser on the channel. Remember, if you want to advertise your shop, brand, whatever, on TrialTube. It really helps us out and keep these episodes going. And at the same time, well, it's just good for trials to know where you get things from, innit? So, over to our foreign correspondent, Danny Butler. Now, you know what they say? Experience is everything. And sometimes, getting the experience can be your next step to your next goal. And don't worry, we don't start off doing the big rock steps. Starting from square one is a necessity when it comes to trials. It's important to start at the beginning on your journey to becoming, well, maybe just a little more controlled on two wheels. So through patience, time, and a little bit of effort, you too can start to have inch perfect control. So once you've got your gear on, it's time to get out on our flat area to make sure that you can steadily start on your journey to get a little bit better on two wheels. Aside from a great choice of bikes for you to try out, they also have some of the newest, best gear available for you to use, including boots. They're in a heated rack because nobody wants cold toesies. And it doesn't matter if you don't do it first time, then with a bit of instruction and a bit of encouragement, I'm sure you'll make it on the second, third, fourth, fifth, or sixth. Or you can always just have another visit. Now, I'm going to test this bike, believe it or not, the way I actually used to test the beaters in the early TrialTubes, same section as what we tested modern bikes on. Can I do it? No. Am I going to try for your entertainment? Yes. So, stick around. Honestly, it's like starting the Titanic. First gear. Over this first little one. Now, this roll off this corner is a lot steeper than it looks, but the TY has got quite a high clearance because back in the day, you needed it. So here we go, let's see if she clips. Oh, didn't catch. I can't believe it doesn't clip that rock. Every modern bike clips that rock. I can feel like I'm really high up on the bike, but that's the style of the time. And the clutch feels incredible. Absolutely incredible. The bike's so planted. I can't believe how well she moves. Oh, so nimble. So the brakes are starting to work now, and oh. If you ever wondered how steep this hill is, it's steep. Now, in front of me, I've got a double step, which in earlier episodes of TrialTube, myself and my brother used to attempt this on a modern bike. First gear. And this is a modern bike, right?
No.
If I can get this bike up that step and up the next one, well, I'm just going to end the episode and go home, to be honest, because if you ask me, that's graft. She's heavier than she looks. If I'm making it look light, leave a like, you know, add as a comment saying how awesome my ass looks in Lycra.
No.
Right, let's get Aunt Bessie's kickstart out. If you don't know what that is, by the way, it's a Yorkshire pudding manufacturer here in the UK. So, yeah. Oh my God! It took me a leg off. Right, here we go. The real deal. Modern riding, old bike. This is really gonna hurt. Right, first gear for the first parts. No minder, that shows how modern this is. Little dig at the FIM there. Right. into the first bit, tipping off the second. Very nice. Maybe a little flick turn into position. Oh, yes! Now, I've just got to get it into second, which involves a full pull in of the clutch. Okay, that's neutral. That's second, which sounded like a ship mooring up. Now, the bike is absolutely planted because the suspension is sagged. It's nothing to do with my balance ability, it's just, I think the bike's gone to sleep. Oh, she's there, she's sounding crisp-ish. So now the real task is going to be, straightening the bars, taking off, and getting it up here. I've just selected second, and I'm talking because I'm scared. Clutch feels so good though. Right, here we go. Oh! Woo! Now, 2 seconds. Have you? I'm so tired. Now the bike smells warm. I smell. And first observations, I love it. I mean, I like every Trials bike, and loads of people are always like, oh, you like all the Trials bikes, don't you? It's TrialTube, get a grip.
No.
But this is a dinosaur with purpose. I feel like if you're riding a Pinky or a TY 250, doesn't matter what colour, if it's pink, then go you. If it's the white and red one, then go you more. If it's the one that doesn't got a front disc, John Shirt did a conversion kit for it, which, if you're in the know, then you know. But yeah, this is the best clubman bike ever created, ever in history, ever. So says the results, not me. More people owned this bike and performed well on this bike at great club competitions like the YMSA 6 Day, the Vic Britain. These sort of trials, the Scottish 6 Day, at one point the Scottish 6 Day was a sea of TYs. Nobody rode anything else because it's Japanese and it works. Talking about that, the forks have been uprated because when they came into the country, it was built for the Japanese and not big burly Englishmen. So we've had to uprate the forks because they're that soggy and soft. I mean, great if you're a 6-stone Kenichi Kiriyama or Takumi Narita, but definitely not great if you're a lad from Stoke youth. Right, I suppose all we can do now is step things up a bit.
We go over to Liz's place, pole up, have a cup of tea, and wait for all this to blow over.
Right, we're up in the ante. The section's about to get a lot harder. A lot. So over that first little rock, that's not the hard bit. We're going to go down this first one, then off a big drop using the clearance of that TY 250. Not catching there. And we're going to stand on these vintage brakes as I tip over here because this is steep and slippy. Oh! Onto your bloody thing past them trees, there we go. Just gonna get down slowly. Well, that was some serious graft. And if you don't believe me, get a Pinky, do it up to this spec, it's only about £4,000, and then find somewhere really steep and just try and ride up the hill. Just try and ride up the hill, I promise you. Now, we're now moving on to a very important part of TrialTube. Now with the classic bikes, the bikes that we review that are a little bit older, I'm going to be nice. And we're going to do a bunch of good things about your classic bike. Oh, air-cooled mono. Early 90s. You know what I mean. 6 good points. All right, a few good points about you owning a classic bike. Number 1, because there is no bad points. Number 1, there's so many upgrades. The bikes have been out that long now that you can literally go upgrade wild and almost have the nostalgia twinned with a bike that just feels good. Good point. Number 2, during this period of riding, lads didn't really do a lot of the hop and jump and skip and lifting the front wheel as much. So the bikes were actually built to have so much ground clearance so you could roll over things. If you actually look on a level line from axle to sump to axle, it's about the same. So, good point number 2. If you don't feel like riding over things with the front wheel, you don't have to. You can just ride over them and be a passenger. One of the best parts about owning a classic or air-cooled mono or something that basically isn't brand new is the scene. That's right. I'm going to say it. The scene, kids. So, most of the people that own these bikes have got a wealth of trials knowledge, right or wrong. And yeah, it's really competitive. The guys are good fun, and they're always up for giving you extra information, as long as you're not against them in the RockShox series, which I'll see you next year, boys. Good point number 3 is the fact that look at the retro colours and lines. I mean, if you want to get nostalgic, ride a bike that's pink. I mean, even some of the clothing companies nowadays are creating retro gear that some of your favourite YouTube stars will be wearing shortly on a retro bike. Yeah. So if you're feeling retro and kicking it old school, wear pink. One of the good things is that these bikes are also super comfy. That's right, they actually come with a real seat, so you can ride around the trial with your friends and not get backache, or sit around with your pegs on the, your shins on the pegs. You actually can ride it like a motorcycle, because ladies and gentlemen, this is a genuine motorcycle. I feel like I'm in Greece or something, don't you? You know. Oh, by the way, you have to wear no gloves if you're riding this bike, because that's the style of the era. Real men ride these bikes, real men. Real men at the RockShox. And they don't do none of that hopping and jumping lark. Because they can't do it. Thank you for watching TrialTube as always. Quick chat about the cool things that are coming up. TrialTube Plus, I've mentioned it a few times now. But when this episode actually airs, you'll be able to go onto the website, www.trialtube.co.uk, and check out TrialTube Plus. It's a streaming service where you can pay for lessons, which are, I'm going to be honest, ridiculously cheap. I've done it so that people can learn quickly and in the right way over the internet. There's no better way than learning in real life, though, so do check out some of the links to the trial schools in the UK. But next time, we're going to have another project bike on the channel. That's right. I know we haven't finished the 315R, sorry, RTL, but it's coming. It's just been so hard to get to the parts, and we appreciate everybody that helps us out here at the channel. Once again, please like, share, and subscribe. Super important. Honestly, these aren't as easy to make as you think, and I'm probably going to be getting very wet over the next few weeks doing them. So, as always, see you next time. Right, I'm just going to start this like starting the Titanic. It takes a bit of going, you know. Fortunately, there's no icebergs. Okay, and... real men start these bikes, or women, you know, we're not sexist.
Like, ride with me if you ride with me, you can slide with me if you feel like.
The section's about to get a lot harder. A lot. So over that first little rock, that's not the hard bit. I'm going to go down this first one, then off a big drop using the clearance of that TY 250. Not catching there. I'm going to stand on these vintage brakes as I tip over here because this is steep and slippy. Oh! Up and round the corner. I got caught by the tree then. A little bit stuck now, but I'm going to lean back and ride it over. Oh! Tell you what, it takes some moving. Big climb now, which I'm hoping second will do it. There you go, I've just put the ship in gear. Let the clutch out and it's going to have to stay out now. Oh, she's up! I have no idea where to go now. It's alright, I've planned this section in my mind. Alright, I've got a foot down. Yes, TY. Nice undercut step in front of me now. Modern style riding on a bike that weighs the same as my van. No excuses, but there was one. Second run round, I'm going to try and keep it a little bit more flowy for our non-stop viewers. I can do that, lad, without stopping. I'm good enough to not be able to balance. Sorry, non-stoppers.